It was a shock in the sense that if you look at the different models and the polls, the odds that Trump will win based on these pronostics were relatively low. So of course there was always a chance that Trump will win, but the odds were not favorable. At least that's what the consensus among experts and political scientists and pollsters. So we have a lot of work to do in terms of how we conduct polls and how we build our models to anticipate the future. And it shows that democracy is, and the way people react is hard to predict. We can anticipate the future, but we can't predict it. The United States is a very polarized country. We saw in terms of popular vote, it's basically 50-50, or well, if you exclude the third candidates, but it's really Democrats and Republicans are highly divided, and it shows in popular vote. So Trump has a lot of work to do to try to bring people together if he can, and move away from the divisive rhetoric that he's associated to.
I think, frankly, the media gave Donald Trump a free ride for about 9 months. He was good copy, electronic, and print media loved him. It was cheap for him. He didn't have to spend any money to do it. And all of the other rivals who were running for the Republican nomination gradually dropped off. Cruz, Marco Rubio, Chris Christie, Kasich, and so on. They just dropped off until he was the only guy standing. Racial minorities didn't vote in the numbers that Clinton had thought they would, particularly the Hispanics in Florida, no less. And also the blacks were not as engaged in this, black Americans, as they had been in 2008, 2012. So there was a bit of a letdown there. But, I mean, clearly the white middle class, often disaffected white voters were mobilized. And you saw that in states like Wisconsin and Michigan last night. Trump has ignored Canada. He spent all his time focusing on the North American relationship between the U.S. and Mexico. And he's been very critical of that. So I think from Canada's standpoint, it's time early on in his administration to get down and make the case to meet him.